Welcome back to our 25 by 25 challenge. I'm in Seminole Heights, Tampa right now, standing in front of property number 19 as part of that challenge. Just to recap, I am in a personal challenge to try to reach 25 rental properties by 25 years old. It is now August. My birthday is in January, so we're closing in on that mark. Hopefully we get there. Let me know below if you think we're going to in the comments. This one has a 3.125% interest rate on it, which is spectacular. You'll never see that type of rate ever again. Our payment on it is about $16.97 a month right now. Principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. What we're gonna do with this property is a strategy called Wrap, where we're gonna find someone to seller finance it to at a higher interest rate than we have it at right now. I'll explain a little bit more about how that works as we get into the property, but this thing could cash flow upwards of $1,000 a month. So we're on our way to another property here today in the Tampa area. This one's actually in Seminole Heights, and this property is super cool. What we're gonna do with this property is what's called a wrap. So we bought it subject to the existing mortgage. We have debt in place that's around $250,000. It's got another 3.125% interest rate. Where else are you gonna find a rate like that? But what we're planning on doing with this property, what we're in the process of, is finding an end buyer to buy the property from us as a wrap. And what that means is we're gonna mark up the price a little bit. You'll see at the property why we think we can do that and some of the reasons that it might work out for an end buyer. But the goal is to lock in somebody around a 7.5% or 8% interest rate and become the bank, essentially, and cash flow the difference between the underlying mortgage and the new mortgage being created. And our estimation of what that cash flow amount might be is closing in on $1,000 a month, net in your pocket cash flow. So stay tuned. I'm excited for everybody to check it out. So a couple of things we're gonna point out outside the property over here that make it a really good deal for someone like me. And we talked about this on a couple other properties that we've been to. As you guys probably know, if you've seen a couple of our videos before, is I don't like to buy properties in Florida that aren't block, concrete slab. I don't buy any wood frame properties. This one has a super special bonus. As you could tell, this one has a metal roof. So metal roof lifespans, especially in Florida, are super durable, much longer than your normal shingle roof. Super attractive for this house. It's about a 10-year-old metal roof. The lifespan on a metal roof, it could be upwards of 40 years. So as you can see here, perfectly good condition, looks great. It is a block home, as you can see as well, and a concrete slab foundation. Win, 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 perfect for me. It also has an upgraded electrical panel of 200 amps. It's got great bones, and it's in a great neighborhood in Seminole Heights in Tampa. Let's go check out the property so you can see some of the things that we're gonna do or planning to do to bring in as much money as possible from this property. All right, so here we go. As you step into the house, we honestly didn't do too much when we purchased the property. I'll show you some of the upgrades that we made before and after, but it's typical with a property like this, with the strategy that we're implementing, that we don't typically do a lot of work and we actually sell it as is. So we talked about the wrap strategy when we were outside the house, but now I'd like to dive a little bit deeper into that strategy so you guys can get an understanding of how it works. So we purchased the property subject to the existing mortgage with a 3.125% interest rate. What we're planning on doing from there is we're gonna find an end buyer who is what we consider a penalty box buyer, and they might not be able to qualify for traditional financing because they might have an ITIN number, and typically ITIN number borrowers don't qualify for as high as loan to value in terms of what they can afford. Also, people don't qualify because they're not bankable, meaning they have high cash jobs, maybe don't report a ton of their taxes. Whatever their situation might be, we offer a solution for people like that for home ownership. And this is a great opportunity for someone to get a little bit higher than today's interest rates. So we're charging somewhere around 7.5% to 8% interest. And for us, as the owners of the property who are gonna finance this for somebody, is the cash flow is actually generated by the difference between what their mortgage is and the difference of our mortgage. Therefore, which is why it's called a wrap. We're wrapping a new mortgage into a property with an existing mortgage underneath it. Our cash flow is the spread between those two mortgages. We can get into a little bit more about the specifics of how that works later, but just know for now, that's the strategy that's gonna generate close to $1,000 a month in almost completely passive cash flow for this property. So let's get into some of the key details of this property that I really wanna point out that I think you guys are gonna love. So as we walk into this room over here, this house is a 3-bed, 1-bath, as it currently stands. This is considered the master bedroom, and there's a laundry room right over here. So as we step into this laundry room, one of the things that I noticed that we can use to add value to the property is it's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath right now. If someone converted this to a 2 full bath property, they'll probably gain $30,000+ in value for a fraction of that cost. So we had our contractor come out to this property. He walked it. He gave us a $9,000 fully permitted bathroom bid to turn this laundry room into a master ensuite situation with a full bath, private access to that bathroom from the bedroom that you guys were just in, the biggest bedroom in the house. That'll increase the value of the house pretty substantially for the next buyer, which is one of the things that we're actually promoting them for, selling them on as they look at a property like this on what's possible. As for the washer and dryer, it's super common in this area of Florida to actually put the washer and dryer hookup in the yard. This one has a completely enclosed porch, and we'll get to that in just a bit. We have another bid to move the washer and dryer hookup that are over here to the outside of the property that is directly behind this area. So we'll get to that in just a second here, but we'll step out, we'll show you guys the rest of the house. As you can see, kitchen area over here, we got your electric stove, we got your microwave, we got your refrigerator over here. We'll step into the hallway over here. We'll see the existing bathroom on your left-hand side. This is a full bathroom right over here. Right now, it's the only bathroom in the house. Like I said, one of the value adds for this property is to actually increase the bathroom count for $11,000, and you're talking about adding a value of $30,000+ to this property for that investment. Totally worth it for someone to do that. And we'll get into a little bit more about that later on as we talk about some of the other strategies for this house that we can implement to make some cash flow. But let's finish up our house tour. On the right and left side of me are the 2 existing bedrooms that are freshly repainted. All we did in this room is we put a fresh coat of paint and we replaced the ceiling fan and we put down some new LVP flooring. So just that alone added a nice little pop to this room. Super attractive from what it was originally. When we purchased the property, the floor was actually only about halfway finished. So in this area over here, it was all subfloor. And this area over here, it was like 3 extra layers of tile. So not the best looking room when we first purchased the property about a month ago. In this room, we did the exact same thing. So you've got your closet just like the other room over there. This room might be a little bit on the bigger side, but same thing. All we did was we painted the room, we painted the ceilings, we changed the light fixture, we put a fan in, and we put brand new flooring down into this room as well. So we'll head out. I'll show you guys some of the features on the back porch that I told you guys about before that are super valuable. So as you can see, fully enclosed, netted porch in the back of the property. Quite spacious. So this is a huge value add in this area. Florida gets super buggy. So if you want to hang out and there's lots of trees around, which there is here, typically, especially at night, in the summer, it gets super humid. There is a ton of bugs. So a place like this that's completely screened in, enclosed, is a huge value add for a property for people to hang out in and spend time in and not get eaten alive by mosquitoes. If you look at this wall right here, this brick wall, this is backing the laundry room that's existing. So we would put a stackable unit right here. And that stackable unit means that the washer and dryer are on top of each other. $2,000, we'd get the hookups here and the system. So the laundry would move to the outside and it would be completely enclosed. These things lock. This door locks over here. It has a little latch on it. So this is, a private space, completely enclosed. And we have a little bit of a yard out there for people to kind of hang out in. Let's go back into the house, talk about some of the other strategies that might make sense for this house, and we'll talk about some things that you could do for other strategies as well. So for this property, like we said, we're gonna do what's called a wrap strategy, but there's a couple of different ways that we could actually monetize the property here as an investor. And you definitely, as an investor, want that option. Options allow you to make mistakes, be wrong, and still salvage your investment. So for this one, like we set out in front, my monthly payment is around $1,700. If we wanted, our total all-in debt on this property is about $250,000. And we're in the property, which means our capital that we actually use to purchase the property is somewhere around the $40,000 mark. So all in, we're about $290,000. If we converted that laundry room into a full bath, we'd probably increase the property value fair market to somewhere around the mid 300,000s. So we'll create some equity for ourselves right off the bat. We'd also be able to rent out this property to a regular tenant for somewhere between $2,300 and $2,500 a month, giving us a gross cash flow of $600 to $800 a month. In Tampa, very, very difficult to find something like that. So that is a strategy that we could implement on this property in the event that we couldn't find a wrap buyer. However, we feel super confident in our ability to find a wrap buyer because of the agent relationships that we have in this market. So one of the strategies that you'll want to implement when trying to perform that exit strategy is meet agents in your market that work more so with buyers. Some of them work with buyers who may not qualify for traditional financing. And if you do enough of these types of deals, you'll be the first person that they think of to send their buyer to. So in that scenario, agent gets paid a commission, buyer finds a house even though they couldn't qualify for traditional financing, even though they might be able to afford it, they're just not bankable. And we get a great investment where we're able to wrap a property at a higher mortgage than we've taken over subject to and become the bank and cash flow the spread between our mortgage and their mortgage. So if you have any questions about any of that, please comment below. I'm gonna look at all of them. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. Let me know if you think I'm gonna get to 25 by 25. Like I said, January is around the corner. We just did number 20, so we have 5 to go. I'm excited that I got to show you guys this house. Stay tuned, comment below, subscribe if you found this video valuable, and I'll see you on the next one.